Ever feel like you need, I don't know, a secret decoder ring just to keep up with everything? Like all of a sudden you buy underneath, what's in your moisturizer, how to save for retirement, even what's okay for dinner tonight. It just feels like a constant stream of new info. Well, you're in luck because that's it for on the deep dive. Our whole mission is to cut through all that noise. We deliver the most important, insightful bits from a whole stack of sources straight to you. No digging around, no endless scrolling, just, the good stuff. Pure distilled knowledge ready to use. And today, all our insights are coming straight from the June 27th, 2025 aggregation provided by consumers.app, which, by the way, is just a fantastic resource for keeping tabs on all the latest consumer trends. We've definitely pulled out the best bits for you.
Absolutely. And we've got quite a journey plan today. We'll be exploring everything from the really surprising shopping habits of the newest generation, Gen Z, to some pretty critical personal finance stuff, health considerations, and even, believe it or not, uncovering some unexpected truths about our kitchens and the environment. So yeah, prepare for a real deep dive into the info that genuinely shapes your daily life.
All right, let's kick things off then. Let's explore how this next wave of consumers is really reshaping the market. Our first headline, this one's from USA Today on MSN.com, asks, Gen Z shoppers aren't looking for the cheapest price. What is important to them? Huh. Okay, I mean, that feels like a pretty big shift from, say, previous generations, right? So if it's not about the absolute lowest price, what is driving Gen Z's choices? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's really striking. What we're seeing is Gen Z placing this increasing emphasis on ethical considerations. Unlike earlier generations who are often, purely driven by cost, these digital natives, they have just unparalleled access to information. And they're actively seeking out and, importantly, supporting brands that align with their values. Things like sustainability, transparency, social justice. It's a profound evolution, really.
Huh. So it's way more than just getting a good deal.
Yeah.
What are the specifics then? What are those motivators behind this? What are they really looking for in a brand?
Well, research from Consumers Research clearly shows their shopping habits are heavily influenced by a desire for authenticity and ethical production, brand transparency. They really want to see genuine commitment. Environmental sustainability, social responsibility. They're also super quick to use digital tools to check claims. They look for businesses that are upfront about sourcing labor practices because they want their purchases to actually reflect their personal ethics.
Wow. Okay. That's a powerful shift indeed. But how does this kind of ethical consumption, how does it actually impact broader societal goals like what's sometimes called democratic sustainability? Can individual spending truly make a difference on that kind of scale?
Oh, it absolutely can. Yeah. Ethical consumption plays a really critical role in promoting what's called democratic sustainability, which is essentially this idea that, individual actions and consumer choices, they can influence policies and systems, push them towards a more sustainable, more equitable future. By choosing ethically, consumers are basically challenging those traditional economic models that might prioritize, say, profit over the planet or people. There's actually a scholarly paper by Stephen Hoffer that suggests this collective advocacy can indeed shift us, move us towards a sustainability-focused economic paradigm. It aligns with what are often called post-materialist values, basically, a societal shift where people prioritize things like environmental well-being and social justice over just, economic growth or having more stuff.
That really does reshape how you might think about a simple shopping trip, doesn't it? But how does Gen Z actually do this? In practice, what tech tools are they using to make these informed decisions, to make sure their spending lines up with these deep-seated beliefs?
Right. Well, they're incredibly savvy with technology. That's key. Gen Z actively uses smartphone apps, online platforms, ones that offer features like product sustainability ratings, detailed ethical sourcing info, brand transparency reports, things like that. These tools basically empower them to make genuinely informed decisions. It allows their purchasing power to directly support companies that embody their ethical, sometimes even their political, viewpoints.
Yeah. Okay, building on that whole idea of informed choices, let's switch gears slightly. Let's talk about what we put on our bodies. Ever stop and wonder what's really lurking in your makeup bag? Our next headline, this one's reported by the Shields Gazette, talks about avoiding a painful eye infection by discarding out-of-date products. Hey, come on, we've probably all been guilty of holding on to that favorite mascara for just a little too long, right? Thinking, that's probably fine. But turns out, that seemingly harmless habit can have some pretty nasty consequences.
Oh, it's such a common scenario, but with real health implications.
Definitely. And while many people know about basic allergies, it's worth noting that cosmetic allergies are typically caused by hypersensitivity. Like to specific ingredients, certain metals, fragrances, preservatives are common culprits. These reactions, they can show up as redness, itching, swelling, rashes.
Yeah.
It happens when your immune system basically misidentifies a harmless substance as a threat.
So just how common are these reactions? And are we seeing more of them lately? Yeah, allergic reactions to cosmetics are surprisingly common, actually. Studies indicate a pretty significant percentage of the population has experienced some form of cosmetic allergy. And interestingly, the prevalence does appear to be increasing globally. It kind of mirrors a general rise we're seeing in allergic diseases overall. So it definitely underscores the need for greater consumer awareness.
Now, I've heard some kind of concerning reports about hidden allergens, especially in things like hair dyes. Is there truth to that? What's the real deal for consumers?
Yes. This is where that transparency issue becomes really critical. Recent research has highlighted that even hair dyes marketed as PPD-free, that's paraphenylenediamine, can still contain PPD or other unlisted allergens that can trigger reactions. There was one study, for instance, that found, I think it was 7 out of 51 tested products claiming to be PPD-free actually still contain these hidden allergens. So, yeah, it raises pretty significant concerns about product labeling, doesn't it? And the potential for unexpected reactions, even when you're trying to make informed choices.
Wow, that does sound pretty deceptive. Okay, so what practical steps can people actually take? How can we protect ourselves and avoid these kinds of allergic reactions, especially with, hidden stuff potentially floating around?
Good question. So, to mitigate risk, individuals really should always perform a patch test before using any new cosmetic product, especially those that are going to be in prolonged contact with the skin, just a little dab somewhere inconspicuous. It's also smart to, research and try to avoid known allergens if you have sensitivities. Opt for products specifically labeled hypoallergenic or free from common irritants like fragrances and parabens. And honestly, when in doubt, a consultation with a dermatologist for personalized advice is always, always the safest approach.
Okay, good advice. Now, moving from what we put on our bodies to how we plan for our future, let's switch gears again, this time to personal finance. Next up, we've got a question many of us probably ponder for the future. CBS News on MSN.com asks, how much would a $300,000 annuity pay monthly if bought at age 65? This is, a really crucial topic for anyone thinking about retirement income.
Absolutely. When people start thinking seriously about retirement, annuities often come up in the conversation. And the key insight here, the really unique thing about a life annuity, is that it offers longevity insurance. What it means is it's a financial product designed to provide a guaranteed series of payments for the entire lifetime of the person who buys it, the annuitant. So essentially, you exchange a lump sum of money for a steady income stream that, you literally cannot outlive. You transfer that lifespan uncertainty from yourself to the insurance company.
Right, that distinction, longevity insurance, that feels really important. Okay, so back to our specific question, that $300,000 annuity bought at age 65. What factors would actually influence the monthly payout someone gets? It's not just one number, is it?
No, definitely not. The monthly payout for that specific scenario, $300 at 65, is influenced by several really crucial factors. These include the specific type of annuity. Is it fixed, offering stable, guaranteed payments? Or is it variable, where payments fluctuate based on how the underlying investments perform? That's a big one. Also, prevailing interest rates at the time you buy it, the life expectancy of the annuitant based on actuarial tables, of course, and any extra features you might choose for the contract. Things like cost of living adjustments or maybe provisions for a beneficiary. Insurance companies calculate the payout very carefully based on all those elements.
Okay. It sounds like there are definitely some trade-offs to weigh up then.
Yeah.
What are the sort of overall benefits and the potential drawbacks of looking into an annuity for retirement planning?
We need the full picture, right, to make an informed decision. Exactly. Well, the primary benefits are pretty clear. That guaranteed income stream, for one. And protection against outliving your assets, that offers significant peace of mind for many people. There can also be some potential tax advantages, depending on the specifics. However, there are drawbacks, too. You usually have limited access to your lump sum once it's converted. You can't just easily pull it back out. There are various fees and costs associated with annuity products that you need to understand. And there's the risk that inflation might erode your purchasing power over time, especially if the payments aren't adjusted for it. So it's really critical to weigh these factors carefully. And honestly, as always with big financial decisions, consulting with a qualified financial advisor is key. Make sure an annuity genuinely aligns with your unique retirement goals.
Right, sound advice.
Yeah.
Okay, from securing our financial future, let's pivot now to a very, very common kitchen debate, something that impacts our health and maybe even the planet more than we think. Our next intriguing question, we found this one on MSN.com, asks, does microwaving food affect its nutritional value? I feel like this is something almost everyone has wondered about at some point. And yeah, there seem to be a lot of myths floating around.
Yeah, there really are. But, contrary to a lot of popular belief, microwaving can actually be something of a nutrient-preserving powerhouse. Recent studies actually indicate that microwaving food can preserve nutrients very effectively. And the reason is mostly due to its shorter cooking times. You see, the process uses electromagnetic waves to heat food by agitating water molecules inside it. That means less overall heat exposure and less time for nutrients to degrade. It often outperforms longer cooking methods like boiling, which can literally leach water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C and B vitamins right out into the cooking water.
Wow, okay. That is genuinely surprising. I think many people assume it's somehow less healthy or something. But you mentioned another kind of unexpected benefit, something touching on environmental impact.
Absolutely, yeah. Microwaving is generally more energy efficient compared to using a traditional oven or even a stovetop for many tasks. Research looking into environmental impacts notes that microwave cooking usually results in lower carbon footprints and reduced water usage too, mainly because of those shorter cooking times and lower energy consumption. So it actually contributes positively to environmental sustainability in its own way, which is a significant and, often overlooked benefit.
Huh. Good to know. And what about protein? How does microwaving stack up for protein retention specifically? And how do things like the power settings or cooking duration factor into keeping those nutrients intact?
Right. Well, generally, microwaving preserves protein content quite effectively. Unlike some methods, maybe like very high heat frying or grilling, which can sometimes denature or structurally alter proteins through excessive heat, microwaving tends to maintain more of the original protein composition. Again, due to minimal heat exposure overall. Now, regarding power and time, yes, those are crucial. Generally speaking, higher power settings used for shorter durations often preserve more nutrients simply by minimizing that heat exposure time. Conversely, if you microwave something for way too long, even at a lower power, or use excessive time at high power, you can start to see nutrient degradation. So a bit of precision definitely matters.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Now, to wrap things up today, let's turn to a really empowering societal shift, something that's transforming our fitness landscape. Here's a fantastic report from AOL. Women usher in strength training's new era. This feels like more than just a trend, doesn't it? It feels like a genuine cultural revolution happening in gyms everywhere.
It truly is. Yeah, the increasing participation of women in strength training has fundamentally transformed gym culture. It's quite remarkable. We're seeing this significant rise in female participation in exercises in areas of the gym that were, let's be honest, traditionally dominated by men. And this is prompting gyms to adapt their environments. We're seeing more inclusive spaces, more varied strength programs that cater specifically to women's fitness needs and goals. It's really a powerful move towards greater gender equality and inclusivity in the whole health and wellness space.
Absolutely. And beyond just the cultural shift, what are the concrete positive health benefits, specifically for women engaging in strength training?
Oh, the benefits are numerous. Recent studies consistently highlight them. We're talking improved muscle mass, which is crucial for boosting metabolism, increased bone density, really vital for preventing osteoporosis later in life, better metabolic rates overall, also a reduced risk of injury in daily activities. And, importantly, strength training is strongly linked to enhanced mental health outcomes. Things like reduced anxiety and depression symptoms and improved self-esteem and body image. These benefits really underscore its importance as a key part of a balanced fitness routine for women of all ages.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, while this trend is overwhelmingly positive, I imagine there might still be some, unique challenges women could face in these environments sometimes. How are those being addressed? Or how should they be addressed?
That's a fair point. Women do sometimes encounter challenges. Things like persistent gender stereotypes about strength, women shouldn't lift heavy, that kind of outdated thinking. And sometimes facilities just aren't adequately tailored to their needs. Maybe not enough of the right equipment or intimidating atmospheres. So to address these issues, progressive gyms and fitness centers are implementing inclusive policies. They're providing female-focused strength training programs, hiring diverse staff, including more female trainers who can act as role models and provide specific guidance. Really, creating a supportive community feel and ensuring access to proper guidance and equipment are crucial for fostering a welcoming and empowering atmosphere for everyone. And, it's also vital to acknowledge nutrition's role here. It plays such a crucial complementary part alongside strength training. Making sure women get adequate protein along with essential vitamins and minerals really supports optimal muscle recovery and growth. This synergy strength training plus proper nutrition, maybe sometimes including specific supplements, also has scientific evidence backing its role in managing risk factors linked to metabolic syndrome. So it's a powerful combination.
That leads me perfectly to ask about something many people wonder about: muscle memory. That's a real thing, right?
Right.
How does that concept relate to women's strength training progress, especially maybe that they need to take a break from the routine for a while?
Muscle memory. Yes, it's absolutely a real phenomenon and incredibly beneficial in strength training. It basically refers to the body's remarkable ability to regain lost muscle mass and strength more quickly after a period of inactivity compared to gaining it the first time. This is particularly advantageous for women who might take breaks due to significant life events, pregnancy, childcare responsibilities, demanding career phases, things like that. Muscle memory allows them to return to their previous strength levels much more rapidly when they resume training, which in turn really helps encourage long-term engagement in strength training and promotes sustained physical fitness throughout their lives. It makes getting back into it feel less daunting.
Wow, what an absolutely incredible deep dive today. Seriously, we've covered so much ground, from the ethical motivations driving Gen Z shoppers to decoding potentially hidden cosmetic ingredients, navigating the complexities of retirement annuities, understanding how our trusty microwaves impact both our food and the planet, and even celebrating this fantastic new era of women embracing strength training. It really goes to show how a focused deep dive using sources like that great aggregation from consumers.app can provide such rapid, practical, and genuinely fascinating insights into our everyday lives.
It really does. And considering everything we've explored today, from how our values are shaping our shopping habits to smarter financial planning for the future, and even the details of how we cook and how we work out. Perhaps the question for everyone listening is, what aspects of your own consumer choices or maybe your wellness routines might you now look at with fresh eyes? The power truly lies in making those informed decisions.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. And if you enjoyed what you heard, if you found it helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe to Consumers 360. It really helps us out. And as always, we'll leave you with this little nugget to ponder. What everyday decision will you dive deeper into next?